Really in women's makeup. Tuesday, live at 5.
Good evening, everybody. I'm George Michael, and welcome to the Sports Machine. Tonight, through the use of the Sports Machine, in the NBA out west, the Lakers take on the surprise team of the West. In horse racing, Strike the Gold strikes the roses. In baseball, tonight we'll hear from Dave Stewart, who says the Cy Young Award may never be in his future. And three-time Indy 500 winner Johnny Rutherford, wondering if he's at the end of his ride. Oh, this was the kind of performance that Hollywood loves to portray. The aging warrior, although wounded and down, comes back to rally his team to victory. That's the way it happened in Boston this afternoon, where Larry Bird came into the game with a sore back. He then suffered a bruised jaw. But despite the pain, Larry Bird would keep going, and so did the Celtics, right into the second round of the playoffs, because the Celtics beat Indiana 124-121. The Celtics thus eliminate the Pacers. 3-2. Let's go to the Boston Garden. First half of the game, the Pacers in blue. This is a good basketball game, folks. A battle for it. Dreiling finally controls, but Greg Dreiling puts up an air ball. Kevin Gamble, Reggie Lewis. The Celtics take the early lead. Did you notice that it was Larry Bird right in the middle battling for the rebound? Vern Fleming now on a drive, rejected by Kevin McHale. Loose basketball, Reggie Lewis to D. Brown. The Celtics would open a 10-point lead. Then all of a sudden, the Boston Garden would go quiet on this play right here. Larry Bird has the ball slapped away from him. Battling to get it back, Bird makes a dive, gets hit, slams his head on the Boston floor. Down, he would have to leave the game. It was tied 58-58 at the half. Larry Bird returned in the third quarter to a standing ovation. Now, you know the game's over, right? You know the game's over in Boston. Reggie Miller on a miss. See who gets the rebound. In the middle of that pack, it's Larry Bird ahead to Reggie Lewis. The Celtics would open a 9-point lead. The Boston Garden was going wild. Larry Bird had them fired up. Late in the game, Celtics lead 120-118. Chuck Person is the three-point gunner that's got a hitter for the Indiana Pacers. You see the time running down. Pacers trail by 2. Chuck Person tries to win it on a turnaround three-point jump shot that's no good. The Celtics down the Pacers 124-121. Chuck Person, kind of a smile on his face, said, man, I had glory in my hands. Instead, now I've got emptiness. Chuck Person about Bird and the Celtics.
I guess after all, those Spanish do mean something up there, because they really showed some class today and really came out and protected what was theirs, and that's what you do in big games. And Larry Bird was definitely a factor in this game. Ellen, back and all, he was tremendous up there. Tip my hat off to him.
Yeah, it is a little special because I've known Chuck for a while, and we've always had run-ins, but it always seems like I get the last word.
When your office is 200,000 acres of rugged woodland, and you train the men who prevent anything from happening to it, you can't depend on just any deodorant. Men count on Old Spice deodorant. It works to prevent odor, to neutralize it before it starts. There's nothing else this effective with the clean classic scent of Old Spice.
Hi, Ann. Tough day at the office.
You bet.
Old Spice deodorant, because prevention is the ultimate form of protection. Count on it.
Imagine you can have the comfort of a roomy, mid-sized Oldsmobile for under $13,000.
Harvey!
Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra. Comfortable car, comfortable price.
Them people on WJFK radio are nothing but a bunch of smart alecks. They should have their mouth washed out with lye soap.
Howard Stern.
And all that rock and roll. B.U. I'd rather hear a dog puke.
Howard Stern all morning. Washington's best rock and roll all day. 106.7 WJFK. It's not for everyone.
On January 17th, DHL discovered something remarkable about its couriers in the Middle East. They almost never stopped. Even during the war, if it was somehow possible to deliver a package, DHL delivered it. That's a statement no other air express company can make. DHL, faster to more of the world.
So the Detroit Pistons will now meet the Celtics in the second round of the NBA playoffs because this afternoon Detroit absolutely destroyed Atlanta 113-81. And tonight in game one of the Western Conference semifinals, good basketball game. The Lakers down the surprisingly good Golden State Warriors 126-116. Let's go to the Forum in Los Angeles. Now, in the first half of the game, the Lakers in goal, that's Magic Johnson, who starts everything for the Lakers. He'll go to Byron Scott. Scott, who had a big game, fakes the jump shot down low. One fluid motion for Vlade Divac. The Lakers led all the way in this game. They led by 9 at the half, 60-51. Second half of the game, the Warriors turn the basketball over time and again. Here, off of the steal. Get it to Magic Johnson. Ahead to James Worthy. Worthy with 25 points. Magic Johnson with 17 assists. Watch Magic on this one. He also had 21 points. He sees Paul McKeskey in the basket. Get out of the way, Paul. Down you go as the Golden State Warriors fall to the Lakers 126-116 with an appreciative crowd. Stanley Cup semifinals. Pittsburgh Penguins facing a must-win situation beat the Boston Bruins 4-1. Pittsburgh trails Boston in that series 2-1. Let's take you to the Igloo in Pittsburgh. The Civic Arena. Second period. Pittsburgh in white leading 2-1. Grant Jennings at the bottom of your screen, number 3. He lifts the puck past the goaltender, Andy Moog. That gave Pittsburgh a 3-1 lead over Boston. And then the best goal of the night comes right here. The Bruins in black. Gary Galley, the defenseman, tries to carry out of his own end. He stumbles. He loses the puck. Who steals it? Mario Lemieux, who breaks in all alone. He lifts it right over Andy Moog. Boy, you get Lemieux in a situation like that, he's going to score. 4-1, the Penguins win. Mike Milbury, if he had to take a blood pressure test, what do you think the results would be? Would you check out Mike Milbury? He's talking to the referee. He has a few choice words for him. On and on and on. Mike, you can yell all night. Boston Bruins end up losing to the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-1. I don't think Mike Milbury was very satisfied. You know, yesterday was a tremendous day for thoroughbred trainer Nick Zito. Nick Zito had 3 winners yesterday at Churchill Downs, but the biggest of them all was Strike the Gold, the son of Aladar. Strike the Gold did something his dad was unable to do. That is to win the Kentucky Derby. Let's go down to Louisville, Churchill Downs. Strike the Gold on his way to his date with destiny. Now, everybody said this was a good horse, but in fact, he did not go off as the favorite. He went off at odds of 4-1. Number 4 on the outside, Strike the Gold, would pull away from the field to win the 117th Kentucky Derby. Chris Antley aboard. Well, he had it won as he came down the stretch. For trainer Nick Zito, this was kind of like a trip to heaven.
That moment when he crossed the wire, it was like God invited me into his living room. That's what it was like. He said, come on in and sit down. That's what we did.
I guess that's a pretty good description of being thoroughly satisfied, isn't it? Strike the Gold, son of Aladar, went off at 4-1, returns to the barn as the Derby champion. Through it all, his trainer Nick Zito says, look, I appreciate you all talking to me, but the truth is, folks, I just happen to have a good horse, a horse that's willing to work.
Someone told me, a manager can't take a punch for a fighter, and a baseball manager can't get any hits for a player. So he's got to go out there and do the running, but we paid attention, and we got, we thought that we did right preparing him for the Derby, and that's what it's all about.
You know, you have to be a special horse to be considered for the Triple Crown. Strike the Gold is that special a horse. Nick Zito, just how special do you think this horse can be?
I've never been around a horse like this that just does everything so right. And they just have something. I used the terminology this week that you know, the man upstairs likes all horses, but maybe he likes Strike the Goal a little better.
Strike the Goal. He heads for the Preakness, hoping to continue a quest for the Triple Crown of racing.